Hi, my name is Joseph Parker, WBO champion of the world, and you're watching Sporting Icons.
So Andy Ruiz Jr. has said ahead of his rematch with Anthony Joshua that the rematch is going to go exactly the same way as the first fight because Joshua can't box and all he does is run around. And this is what Andy Ruiz had to say. The rematch is going to be the same. I'm going to be more prepared and more ready. I know his flaws. I can do a lot better. The only thing he can do is just run around. He's not good at boxing. He's not a good boxer. People thought I wasn't going to do anything. I was too big, too overweight. I don't want to say all the things I'm going to change for the rematch, but there are going to be a lot of changing. I'm going to come in at a better weight this time. It's going to be a hell of a fight. So that is Andy Ruiz Jr.'s statement. That's a little bit surprising for me in one part, and another part it's not. The reason that it's not surprising, listen, it could just be mind games and whatever else. But if he really means that, then why is it for quite some time, for the last year or two, Ruiz is saying how Joshua's the number one heavyweight and he's a big fan of Joshua. So if all Joshua does is run around and can't box, I'm not too sure what it is that he's a fan of. Let's also not forget that Joshua was the very first person to drop Andy Ruiz to the canvas in his career as well. So no matter how you look at it, Joshua's got something about him, hasn't he? Surely to God. But as I said, this could just be some kind of tactics, as in he wants Joshua to come in there and try and box him. Why? Because this could play into Ruiz Jr.'s hands. Ruiz Jr. is a very, very good boxer, very fast hands, which is what I said to you guys before the fight. And look what happened. Joshua went into Ruiz Jr.'s space. That's something you don't do when somebody's got fast hands. Joshua hadn't learned from previous mistakes with shorter fighters. This is why he was getting clipped quite a bit by Povetkin in that and others before. But he didn't learn. Hopefully now he's taken that loss. He can now look at and say, well, I've been getting away with it so far. That one I didn't get away with. So I need to adopt. So I wouldn't be at all surprised if we see Joshua doing to Ruiz what he'd done to Parker, as in stay on the outside, stick behind the jab, not go for the kill. Because when he dropped Ruiz, those of you who were with me on the live stream there, I was saying to Joshua, don't engage to him. Just don't do it because he's not hurt. And look what happened. So Joshua needs to do a lot of changing, that's for sure. But listen, maybe Joshua knows exactly what happened in that fight. Maybe it was that one punch that changed everything. Maybe there were problems before the camp. Whatever it may be. Hopefully Joshua knows what it was that went wrong and will fix it. Joshua's always said at some point, I will lose. And let's see how I bounce back. So let's see how he bounces back. But Andy Ruiz saying that Joshua, all he can do is run around. When have you ever seen Joshua run around? In fact, that's probably one of the criticisms that a lot of people say about Joshua, is that he doesn't do enough moving around. He's not a back foot fighter. He isn't. He's a front foot dominant fighter who's a very, very good counterpuncher. Problem is, to be a good counterpuncher against someone like Andy Ruiz, you're going to have speed in your hands. Joshua does have speed in his hands, but not as fast as Ruiz. So how can you counterpunch somebody who's faster than you? Maybe this was one of his mistakes as well. But as I said, only Joshua knows what happened. If Joshua doesn't change anything, then yeah, of course, he's going to lose again. The same thing's going to happen, isn't it? But ultimately, I think a lot more patience in this fight, in the rematch, is what Joshua's going to need to do. If he hurts Ruiz and drops Ruiz again, stay focused. Don't go in there guns blazing thinking it's all over. That was a very, very amateur mistake from Joshua. Anyway, that's my thoughts on it all. You drop me yours. Article is in the description box. Go give it a read. Come to your own conclusions, your own thoughts. Drop them below. Click thumbs up. Subscribe. Catch you all on the next video.